Hey everybody, and welcome back to Investment Honey, where we talk about various crypto projects. Before we begin, just want to give you a couple of reminders as always that I am not your financial advisor and we never provide investment advice on this channel. So with that being said, if you're new, thanks so much for joining us, and not sure where you came from, but we're glad to have you here. Always a reminder to the new people to go back to day one of the series so that you can go ahead and get those introductions out of the way and just kind of understand, how things are going to flow as we go through the series. If you are someone that's been with us for a while, or found us somewhere along the way, or came to find the series, from the very beginning, again, thank you so much for your continued support of the channel and of the series. If you are not subscribed to the channel yet, please make sure that you consider subscribing. That way you can go ahead and get any of the broadcast messages, to the subscribers, and you will be among the first to know when new content is released to the channel. So in the way of review, we're going to go over Ski Mask, APU, and the reason why is because we can see the current market cap unit right here, but on the alert for this one, and for some reason it's not giving me the alert. I don't know why. Give me a second, let me figure that out. Okay, so I figured it out, and we should be good to go now. So here we are. We can see the alert was created, 4 days ago. We can see right here, last triggered 4 days ago. But either way, I wasn't aware that this triggered, honestly. So, but we can see that we discovered this one at 109K. And where are we right now? So when, obviously you saw just a minute ago that this was over 1 million on the market cap. And at the peak, we can see this is 1.1 million. So another great example of what we're doing here in the series. And that is that we're, finding tokens, early, spotting them early, taking a look at the channel, taking a look at other things, just to go ahead and determine whether it may be something that we want to consider setting some alerts on. For this one, I think based on, where it was on the candle at the time of the alert, it didn't make any sense to set an over alert. So that's the reason why only one alert was set, as you can see here, that we just set the under alert. And that was to trigger under 75K, which apparently you can see right here because this is disabled. Obviously that means that it did trigger, so if you were someone that was copying the alerts, that I'm making, which that's perfectly fine, you could have seen this one under 75K. And obviously, we, looking at this, 4 days ago, we're talking about this was the 9th, so basically we saw it, right in here, when they launched, so just following it, you can see just, some peaks and valleys, but eventually it just, started to go ahead and take off massively. So, and, I still think this was probably got some room to continue to move. But, again, another really good example of what we're trying to do, here in the series, consistently, and that is to spot these things early, without the use of trying to, focus on the help of any calls or influencers, to find these opportunities early. So this again is another opportunity that, should you have been, copying the alerts, and I know some of you, copy the alerts, and that's fine. And some of you go ahead and create your own. Again, all I'm doing is just showing you how to go ahead and do this. And, what I look at as far as looking at tokens, so this is one, like I said, we looked at it. I kept the alert, this was actually a base token. So we haven't really, I believe this is our first one, that we've seen take off, on base, so as we start to go ahead and expand the chains out, from Solana and Ethereum, now we're looking at base, from time to time. And, again, this was a good example of what we're doing here in the series. So just wanted to point that one out to you. Here in the review. And then this one over here, this is Elon Musk, AI. It had been doing pretty well, throughout the day today. This is one I saw earlier, pretty low on the market cap, and you can see a massive, buy candle here, or massive surge of buys, up here. And so obviously whenever we see these candles, I mentioned this several times, on this channel, and in the series, that you're going to get that, inevitable retracement, so, and we can see here, they've got some retracement. Some of the retracement here, as I would explain, is if let's say that you were running a bot and it didn't trigger, here at the high. And a lot of times that's just a matter of not having enough gas or tip. In the case of Solana, you got something called a gas delta if you're using, the Maestro bot, which I would always encourage that you want to increase that if you're setting it to auto trigger on a sell. Especially if you get a situation like this, where there is a massive buy candle, you want that delta gas to really be, somewhat, decent, so that you can trigger in addition, in competition with everybody else who's trying to go ahead and get out at the peak, as well. So, and then we can see some sell pressure here, and I've been watching this one, throughout the last couple hours. And so, I mean, they've had, their sells, but, there's also been continued buy pressure, so even in spite of this retracement here, you're still getting buys coming in. Now, do I think this one's over yet? I don't know. I think they've done a pretty good job, so far as their launch today. But you just never know with some of these tokens. I mean, I've seen this, retrace, pretty decently, and I've seen it go ahead and just shoot right back on up. So I don't know, but I'm continuing to watch this one. I've got an entry in this one, but I thought I'd go ahead and put this one on your radar as, far as one to watch. Obviously, it's AI, themed. You've got, Elon, as well. So yeah, and I saw this in a channel, that I watch, that kind of put me onto this one. So this was not one that I actually found through the Dexscreener series. I actually found this through another channel, but either way, I wanted to go ahead and I thought I'd, put it on your radar as far as, maybe you want to take a look at, because like I said, I don't know if it's done yet or not, but we're still seeing buys here. So maybe if we see another, retracement like this, I might go ahead and call it a day on this one, but for now, this one seems to still be, hanging in there. All right, but with that being said, that's going to do it in regards to review. So what we're going to do, we're going to go back out to Dexscreener here, and then we're going to go straight into discovery. So as always, we're going to go to our gear here. We're going to get rid of the things that we don't need, like the price, transactions, volume, and makers. We're going to keep all the time frames, and we're going to get rid of liquidity and click apply. And then we're going to go into our filters, and we will focus on Solana today. So there we go. We're going to also go ahead and choose Radium as our DEX, and I'm going to leave liquidity as usual. I'm going to go over to market cap. We'll go to 50K. And then because we're just focusing on one chain, we'll go pretty far out, I mean, not really far out, but my max, as we've been going through this series, is that I typically don't focus on anything, greater than 500,000, because I still think, you're still pretty early there. For anybody that's new, if I'm talking kind of quickly, just keep in mind, you have the benefit of the video. You can always go back and review any material that I go over, especially if you're somebody that's, not only just new to the series, but if you're new, to crypto and trading and altcoins, I definitely, would encourage you to, just review as much content as you need to, as far as what I'm doing here through Dexscreener. You could also feel free to join the Crimson's Calls, a Telegram channel, where I also make some calls. Haven't done so in a couple of days over there, just because, the market's just kind of hasn't been that great, and I try not to go ahead and just call anything for the sake of calling, over there on that channel too. But again, it's another place where I make calls, and the X channel as well. So as far as the pair age, we're going to stay fresh, we've been doing that for the last, few videos. So we'll go ahead and we'll go out to 30 hours, here on the max value. And then as always on the 24-hour change, we'll go with a minimum value of 10%. So here we go. Let's see what we got. We get 47, tokens is what they're showing us right now. We'll go ahead and we'll sort by the 24-hour tick, which gives us our largest gain in the 24-hour window. And, as always, I always open up some of these with the box with the question mark, just to go ahead and show you guys consistently that these tend to be scams. The way that you kind of know that is if you don't see, any socials. If you see that the token, here's flagged as being freezable, that's always a real straightforward giveaway that that the token is a scam. So, and even though it's still loading the chart, okay, there we go. So we got it's not a bad looking chart, but at the end of the day, this flag is something you want to absolutely avoid. Okay. And it's been created over a day ago, and even with that being said, when you look at this chart, like I said, it doesn't look bad, but I will also, place a caveat out there that this isn't what a healthy looking chart looks like either. Okay, so you typically don't see just the standard behavior on a healthy looking chart. That's just not what you typically see. So here again, we're getting that flag that the token's freezable, no socials, so easy to go ahead and spot this stuff, as far as if you've looked at a lot of charts, you've done a lot of, navigating, the trenches, in crypto, as they say. Okay, so with that said, this one's been alive for 4 hours, and it's still looking like this. There's no way on earth that this is going to be a safe token to go ahead and look at. And this one here, I've always said that this kind of chart pattern, you look at enough charts, you just kind of know what a healthy, what a healthy pattern looks like. and this one's been alive for 5 hours. There's no way on earth that you're just going to be looking at a chart like this. Okay, so this one obviously, no socials, as well. So there's no way to go and engage, with their community. Again, it's a scam. So, all right, that's going to take us through that. And now what we're going to go ahead and do, we're going to start opening up, some. Now, a lot of times we start at the top. So we're going to go ahead and start from the bottom, okay? And we can see, anything from the bottom, the way I go ahead and I put in my filters, with this 10% minimum value, what it means is that we're not going to see any tokens with less than 10% on the 24-hour window, okay? And that's what I prefer to see. So we're going to, again, open, oops, whoa, that's not what we want. Where's that Solana one? There it is. Don't want that one. SAI, I think I opened that one. Hispanic Pepe, did I open that one? I did not. And one of the things you'll see, with Dexscreener is that it does move around a lot because it's constantly updating, which I do love because you don't have to refresh on your own. So it will refresh for you. So if you see any kind of movement around, that's what's going on, especially if you're new to this. Moondong, actually, I think I'll pass on that one. Let's see here. Maga Bro, we've looked at Maga Bro before, so not going to worry about that one. Trolos, I don't think I opened that one up. American Fundamentals, Trump Time, anything that's Trump related, I think given that the inauguration is coming up, we probably want to take a look at. Cappy Laundry, we'll look at that one. 50/50, Dog Cat. Tomboy Testing, no thank you. Joe Ever, okay, let's take a look at that one. That's just, I think, political oriented. Or themed. Let me see what else we got. Pep with MAGA. All right, so that's another MAGA type of token. Puzzle Engine Technology, sure. Let's see here. We'll leave it there since we got a ton of tabs open already. So what we're doing here, as always, we're just doing some quick scans to go ahead and make sure that we like what we see on the chart, and we got at minimum a telegram. So I saw this one yesterday, Clear AI. Didn't check it out, but I know that I did see it. So tell you what, the chart right now looks like, I don't really care for all the retracement, but we'll still take a look. And here, Sana the First Flame Agent. Let's go out to maybe 5 minutes on the chart. All right, so I think 1 minute's probably better with this one. This one looks okay, but we don't get a website, unfortunately, so we're not going to worry about it. This one, we got a telegram, but, I don't really care for what's going on here. We get huge selling pressure, and then, we're still looking like we're in a downtrend. So I'm going to leave this one alone as well on Satoshi. This one, obviously, it's a rug, and we don't have any kind of telegram. So let's see here. Trolosi, we get a telegram. The chart doesn't look too bad. So, and obviously, it's given where the peak, given where the candle is right now. Only thing I'd be interested in doing on this one would probably be an under alert. Okay, and here, American Fundamentals, not really crazy about this chart, so I'll leave this one alone as well. Definitely don't like this chart, going to leave this one alone. This one, don't like all the sell pressure. You can see right away there's a whole lot of sell pressure, and we're coming into, 60, minus 60, here on the 6 hours, so I'm not really going to worry about that one. Don't like this chart either. I mean, guys, this is not what healthy charts look like. So, I mean, I get that I'm really kind of filtering out a lot, right now, but like I said, the whole purpose, because of how many tokens, Dexscreener can give you, you want to go ahead and make sure your scans are pretty quick, so that you're not wasting your time, especially if you don't have a lot of time to go ahead and go through checking out channel after channel after channel, and this is just part of the process. Like I said, early on in the series, this is not like some cookie cutter process, where there's some magic thing that you do to go ahead and find the, quote unquote, the best tokens out there. There is a process to it, and so this is how we filter out, to try to go ahead and find the ones that we have opportunities, that may go ahead and have some real potential to move. Just like we've seen time and time again. And a lot of the examples that I'm showing you throughout, throughout the number of times that we do review, and how many tokens we've discovered that have gone on to do 2x all the way to 10x and more. This is the process, So this is how you do it. Okay, so we're going to close this one out. And at 50% dog, 50% cat. I actually think this is kind of interesting, just in terms of the topic here, So We're going to keep this one open. Joe Ever, it's Joe Ever. So this one got a Telegram. I'm going to keep it, so, I mean, it's politically oriented, so, and like I said, I think those kind of tokens heading into the inauguration here in 7 days, I think it makes sense to go and take a look at those. Pepe Whiff, we'll go and we'll keep it. And this one's a no-go. So I'm going to go back out here and we're going to see about any. Okay, so obviously we went ahead and we took a look at Musk, Elon Musk AI. We've already looked at that one, so you already know what the chart looks like there. The only thing we didn't do is check out the channel. I mean, I can open it up and we can look at the channel, if you just to say that we did. So Trump with hat, we'll take a look at that one. Cat, let's take a look at that one too. Prime Minister Tate, we won't worry about that one. Cat with hat 2.0. So Cat with hat. There was one, not the 2.0 version, but another one that actually did, pretty decently. So let's see here. And then we got Pengu with hat. Okay, so we'll open that one too. Okay, so we've got a number open. I got to check out the new ones just to make sure they check out. So obviously we know this one does. So this one is still making a move up, which is good to see. Let's see here. Trump with hat. A lot of sell pressure, right here on this one, but they still have a Telegram, so we'll take a look at it. And this one definitely don't like the chart, so that's definitely a no. And this one, we're still in retracement on this. But I'll tell you what, we'll keep it anyway just to see what we got going on in the chat. And then this one, obviously they're coming back, from a bottom, from some retracement, so they got a Telegram, so we'll keep it. Okay, so we've got a number of them open. I think we got about 10 here, something like that. So now we're going to go ahead and start checking out the channels. Give me a second, I'll be right back. Okay, so we're going to go into the channel now. So don't want to see that. Okay, so let's see what we got. We're going to check that so we don't have to always go ahead and worry about that warning. Okay, so this is that AI 16, meta they got going on. We'll see if we got a portal here. Doesn't look like a portal. This looks like this is just simply, what the Telegram is. And typically when we see this kind of stuff, I don't tend to bother with it, so I want to actually see a community where we can see some real engagement. That could also contribute to why we're seeing the downtrend here. There's no way to engage with the community. And so the Telegram, this is likely, as I was thinking, a pump fund token. So more than likely, they went from, they hit the bonding curve. And so once they hit radium, obviously, they needed to go ahead and set something up. Now, I don't know if they had a small Telegram set up before hitting the bonding curve or not, but either way, a lot of these pump fund tokens, they don't think they're, they're not necessarily prepared, for hitting radium. And so when they do, they start to go and put some additional things in place, especially, if they see more activity than what they anticipated they were going to see. So I'm not really surprised to go ahead and see the retracement here. I would imagine it's going to continue to retrace because there's nothing to serve as a catalyst to continue to keep that token moving. So I'm going to close this one out. And then we can see here on Trolosi, or Trolos? Okay, Trolos. Okay, so, I mean, we saw some retracement before, when we discovered this one. And, I said before, that the only thing I'd be interested in setting on this one, I think I said that, would be an under alert, so as long as everything checks out, in the channel, that is what we will do. So let's take a look and see what they got going on. Just over 300 members, here in the chat. So last buy, came into 1211. This is just, welcome message for me, so, and 1211 is what I got on my clock, so we can go ahead and we can head up. I don't really see, any evidence, of trending yet. I don't see any evidence of rating. So, not really sure, what's really bringing the buys unless they got like a boost going. Do we see that? Here, so let's go back over to Trollus. So no boost, no ads, so no nothing. My first thought, with this would be that, granted, yeah, they got buys coming in right now, unless this is some, maybe TikTok meme or something. And they've only got one pin message, so I don't really know where they're getting the buy pressure from, other than what I've said before is that people tend to go ahead and follow buys as much as they follow sells. It's just kind of like, herd behavior, in terms of what we see pattern-wise behaviorally, in crypto, as far as, what people do on buys and sells, so with that being said, and we've seen this in another token before, what I will tell you is that, sure, I can go ahead and set an alert. It wouldn't be an over alert, it'd be an under alert on this one, but more than likely, this is going to go ahead and retrace, probably pretty hard because there's no catalyst to keep this going. So All right, so we're at 186 here. We'll check out the tab and see if it says the same thing. Tab says 175, so we're going to put 175 here, on in the note. And so on the under, I'm actually going to go to 100K. So yeah, the deviations, kind of significant and steep, but as you saw in the chat, there's nothing to go ahead and keep this thing going. So once the sentiment, for this, as far as, continue to follow the buys is over with, I think this one will go ahead and drop pretty heavily. That's just my personal opinion there on this one. So we're going to leave this one alone. All right, so we're going to the 50-50 one, and we can see we got a small boost going. So just 10, it's the smallest boost that you can get. Only 2 socials here, but we'll take a look at the Telegram and see what they got going on. All right, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to verify. And we've got 735 members, here in this particular token. So with that being said, let's see, we got a VC going. VC's got 18 members. That's not that bad. That's pretty decent. Okay, would love to see more, but 18 members is definitely pretty decent as far as the VC is concerned, in my personal opinion. So they've got major buy bot, here in less than 24 hours. They're saying they've applied for CoinGecko. Got the website, Dex Tools, 1.6 million in volume organically, over 1,000 holders and over 700 in the channel. So that's actually looking pretty good. Now, if you remember that there was a theme, cat dog, some time ago, this token, that cat dog token did really well. Okay, so, and what kind of got me, looking at this is that it's a CTO. While it's a CTO, they still have a pretty decent number of people, here in the VC, and they've been able to accomplish some things, So I don't know. Let's see here if they've got, okay. Look here, even with the rating, they've got a lot of good activity. 4 replies, 11 retweets, and 26 likes. That's pretty good. So in terms of their activity, so I think there's a positive sentiment, for this one for sure. Okay, so I think it makes sense to definitely set some alerts on this one. So we will go ahead and we'll do that. So we're looking at 203 on the market cap, so the only thing that makes sense for me on this one is to set an under alert. This actually originated from Pump Fund, you can see that. So if we're sitting at 203 over here, the tab says 205, so we're going to go ahead and list it at 205. So, and again, anytime you see that, high candle, there, it does absolutely mean it's going to come down. So, because that candle's not going to stay there. So I'm going to go ahead and set this at maybe 165 on the under alert. Okay, so that's what we're going to do there. We're going to see if that triggers. So even though, yeah, it's continuing to go up, and I get that, even when you see a token like this, and it's like, oh my gosh, you want to follow, you want to jump in because you're thinking, man, it's really excited, in the channel. The sentiment seems really positive. I would go ahead and, as always, tell you, one, you don't ever want to be one of those emotional traders. You want to, stick to what you know in regards to charts, stick to what you know in regards to trading behavior. And what I know is that there is no way on earth this is going to stay here. This will absolutely retrace. I mean, you got to consider when the chart was here, it's great. Everybody loves to see green. Okay. Right. But it can't continue like this because there were people that obviously got in at lower levels. So they're loving it, obviously, to go ahead and see, this candle continue to move up, but what happens? People are up so much and then they start to go ahead and sell. What happens? It's not like it's just 1 or 2 people. There were plenty of people that really got into this area. So what are they doing? They're selling it down. And so then you kind of wait to see, when's the sell pressure going to end? And then when it ends, somebody goes ahead and puts their foot in the pond again. And then you start to see buys follow that initial buy. Then you got people that got in at this level. So they're up at this point. And so what are they going to do? They're going to sell again. So you can see the same pattern. Everybody loves to see the green candles. Everybody loves it. Okay. But green candles not followed by sell candles doesn't make sense on a chart. Okay. So you can see even here, we're sitting at 221, 215, 221, something like that. This is going to come down. Now, how far it will come down, maybe it comes down to the bottom levels, maybe it comes down midway, but again, when people think that the buying pressure has stopped, what do? They start to sell. And that's exactly what's going on here. So you have the strand, you'll have your little spots of sells, of buys, here, as you can see here in the transaction, details. But you're absolutely going to get, some sells because there were people that had entries down here. So again, and we're talking this token, the CTO, what is it? This is today's the 13th. So it looks like, this is, and I don't know where, this obviously originated, from Pump Fund. So I don't know if this originated from Pump Fund and it just hit, Radium today. That would be my guess, looking at the chart. But again, we'd have to go ahead and take a look at the Pump Fund chart to see how long it was on Pump Fund. It may have been on Pump Fund for a month for all we know. All we know at this point is that now it's here on Radium. And so obviously in the main channel, it is a CTO and they're trying to go ahead and push now. Everything looks great for now, but they still have to have funds for marketing. You got to have funds to continue to go ahead and give the token exposure. So while it looks great right now, if they don't have a budget to keep this moving, or if they start talking about, like a marketing wallet, a lot of communities are real finicky about that. So keep that in mind, in your overall assessment of this, that when you're trying to go ahead and lean into your community for funds, a lot of these people, in these tokens, they don't really have a lot of money. I mean, they're in the token because they're trying to make money, so they don't have money to go ahead and give away to marketing. And with so many CTOs, and I get that, I'm talking a lot in regards to this token, but this is also an opportunity to go and educate you that in a lot of these CTOs, people that are running the CTOs, there have been CTO after CTO after CTO that has turned out to be a scam, where the person that decided to go ahead and run the CTO basically ran away with the money in the marketing, wallet if they were able to go ahead and get people to donate. So I'm not saying that that happens all the time, but I am saying that it's something you need to be aware of, that should you decide to go ahead and jump into a CTO, a lot of these CTOs, while it's great in theory that they can go ahead and take a token and move it, to glorious heights, a lot of cases of CTOs end up just falling flat on their face. So there are exceptions out there, but a lot of them do not ever, they don't ever do well. Many CTOs don't do well. So for this one, this would be one that I think I'd probably watch. Like I said, everybody loves green, but what have we continued to see? We've continued to go ahead, we continue to see a lot of retracement, after that, so we just had a sell of almost $2,900 here, so obviously, how did that happen? Another one, 1140 here. How did that happen? Because these people got in at lower levels, okay? So yes, you're getting some more buys returning on the chart, but I still think you're still going to see further retracement, just like we saw here in this pattern and just like we saw here in this pattern. So again, another reminder, do not be emotional and follow hype when you are looking at a chart. You need to learn to be able to look at something with clarity, outside of emotion, and make an informed decision. Look for the stuff that matters. Look to see, like I talked about, in the channel, are they looking for funds to continue to push this? If they're looking for funds to continue to push this, if they don't get it, where's this chart going to go? This chart is going to go down, down, down. Okay, so because you need funds to go ahead and push any token in crypto, that's just a fact. All right, so with that being said, we're going to go ahead and watch this one. We've already got the under alert set for 165. Let's see if it triggers, and then we're going to go and move on to the next one. So here it's Joe Ever, and this was another one that originated from Pump Fund. They got a boost, of 100x, going. We can see some minuses, here in this area on the 5-minute, on the 6-hour, and some pluses, on the 1 hour and 24-hour. But the chart doesn't look too terrible, so we'll see what's going on here in the channel. Okay, so let's see here. What's this? All right, so here it is. The last buy was at 12:20. That was a minute ago. Okay, and anything else going on? Looks like they've got some rating going on. Some decent activity. So they were looking for 15 likes, 5 retweets, 5 replies, 5 bookmarks. They got everything. So that's good. And let's see here. No trending going on, but again, they do have that boost. A warning here that somebody's impersonating somebody. They just paid for the 100 boost, so that's good. All right, and that's what we saw before. That's what we saw. Where were we at? Okay, so we saw here in the banner, was the 100 boost. Okay, so for this one, based on what I saw, it makes sense to set 2 alerts, an over and under. We're sitting at 228 according to our tab here. So we're going to go to market cap and we're going to set our posted market cap at 228. So there we go. And let's go ahead and let's set this at 245. Okay. For the trigger on the over and then on the under, let's see here. We'll paste that in and we're going to go to 190K. I think I'm going to set this at 180K. on the under. Okay, so we're going to leave this one now, and then Pepe with. Let's take a look at the channels. So just making you guys aware, because of what I saw in the channel, just a couple of images. I'm going to make a cut, so you'll notice, that we started, and then I just had to trade back over to the chart, and there will be a cut made. So just want to give you that heads up. But I did see that they've got SPY DeFi training. They did go and pay for that, So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set. I think we'll set 2 alerts on this one, just because, we can see some buys are returning, here on this wick right here. So we're sitting at 95, 90, 91K according to the tab, so let me go straight to market cap, and on the under, we're going to obviously set this at 191K. Copy that, and let's move this to 75K on the under, and then on the over. Let's go ahead and let's paste that posted market cap in. On the over, we're going to go ahead and set this at 120. 120K. All right, so there we go. And if you're new, there's no real cookie cutter, way to go ahead and set these alerts. You're going to see what you see, in the channel, and you're going to, make an evaluation based on, are they trending? What are they doing to try to go ahead and get additional exposure? Are they doing, boost? Are they doing ads? Are they doing trending? Are a lot of people going ahead and showing this to their own community? All those things do add to the narrative in terms of, helping you make an informed decision as to how do you want to proceed, concerning any alerts, concerning any kind of entry that you make, so obviously, like I mentioned, before, with the 50/50 token, you need to see certain things, and you need money, right? So does the team have previous experience? What kind of, do they have a budget? Are they looking to the community for help? There's a lot of questions you have to ask. You need to go ahead and try to do this stuff quickly, especially if you got a chart that's moving very quickly as well. Sometimes even when a chart's moving quickly, it's not necessarily the best thing to go ahead and rush making a decision, because again, sometimes I think, when charts go up very quickly, they also come down very quickly, so you want to take your time, I've said 2 things, I've said 1, you want to take your time, 2, you want to make decisions quickly. We all know that crypto moves very quickly, right? And everybody wants to go ahead and get in the bottom. You get in as early as you can, because obviously, all the buys on top, help to increase your bag, so these are assessments that you got to make. There are some tokens where, yes, you do have to move quickly. And there are other tokens where sometimes it makes more sense to go ahead and just take your time, but you have to make that evaluation. And the more you take a look at charts, the more you take a look at these communities, the more you go through this process, you'll get better at being able to make, those decisions. So, and you're not always going to be right. Sometimes you're going to be wrong. That's just kind of the ebbs and flows of what we do in crypto, right? So, all right, so we're going to close this one out. And then this one's still continuing to go ahead and make some moves. You can see from the bottom when we saw it, and obviously it's still moving, up. So give me a moment, guys. I'll be right back. All right, guys, so what we're going to do, I'm still going to go ahead and take a look at this community for you guys. So here we go. Let's go into their Telegram and check out what they got going on. Okay, so let's see if they've got okay, so we do have a verification portal. So here we go. And all right, so just over 840 members, here in the group. We can see they've got trending going on. So let's go ahead and click on the link, as always, because we want to make sure that we can find them on the leaderboards. This is Elon Musk AI. So they say they're sitting at number 9. Here they are. So yes, they are on the leaderboard. So that's always good to make sure that check, is there. Because sometimes, you may be in a token where you click on it, it'd be like, message doesn't exist, so that's how you know that that's probably not a token you want to continue to stick with. Okay. So we can see they've got a tweet here. They want, folks to go and raid. Then we can see that there is an article here, or something going on here on Bitcoin Talk, it's a forum. Okay, and so Gecko Terminal was updated, and trending's incoming. Okay, so they want to smash more on X, the hot trending on Dexscreener, which is always good to see. If we go back out here and we can close this out, we can see they've got boost, they've got ads, as well. So they're really trying to go ahead and make sure they push the token, which they've done. The question is, are they still going to sit in this arena, or are they actually going to go ahead and move back up, have a chance to get back up to some of these peaks, up here, which we don't know. But with that being said, we'll go ahead and we will set some alerts, for this one. So for the market cap here, we're at 143. Let me see. Let's go ahead and let's set an over and an under, so or actually it's saying 134 in the tab. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'm going to copy that. And then for the under, we're going to go ahead and set this to add 100K. So I don't know if it'll trigger, but we'll see. For the over, and for the over, let's go ahead and let's set this at 155, just to see if it can kind of get out of that area that it's in. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and close that. And all right, and so moving over to Trump with hat. All right, so we can see some retracement here, and we're going to go ahead and take a look at the channel just to see what they got going on. All right, so let's see here, looking for a verification portal. So here we go, we get it. So we're going to go ahead and click on launch there. All right, and we're still waiting. Okay, well, we'll just go ahead and click that. Okay, so we got just over 420 members here in the group, and so we can see we're still getting buys. Okay, so the time, let's see here. Okay, so but you cannot talk in the group, which I don't really care for, but it doesn't mean the buys won't still come in. So with that being said, obviously there's not going to be any opportunities for rating, with the chat being closed. Everybody wants it in the news milestone. Okay. So we can see talking about the abnormal activity, double trending. Sometimes you see, tokens go ahead and do this. Again, they're just trying to go ahead and get as much exposure as they can, for the token. Here they're saying the number 2 on sold trending. We'll see if they're on the leaderboard. So this is Trump with hat. So we don't see it there. Don't see. Okay, so I'm not seeing it. Trump with hat, not seeing it. I don't know if you guys are, but I am not seeing it. So they're no longer trending on that leaderboard, so, and like I said, the chat is closed, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to move on out of this one. And with that being said, more than likely, because the chat's closed, no engagement, there's no opportunity for engagement, even though you got small boost going. They're no longer trending. And I told you guys before, other videos, that sold trending, it brings a short-term kind of crowd, so I do expect this one to continue to retrace, so we'll go and we'll leave this one alone as well. And here we got the cat with hat 2.0. So we're going to take a look at their Telegram and see what we've got going on in here. All right, and let's see here. Definitely there's a portal. Looks like this is the main channel, so, but we're not really seeing any buys. No buys. So okay, here we go. We get a buy here. Okay, so that still falls within my 10-minute window. Voice chat scheduled today at 10:57 in the evening, because I'm on Eastern time zone, so we'll see if that happens. But yeah, aside from that, not really seeing any kind of trending, no kind of engagement, so my first thought would be that this is probably going to retrace. So and we can see, looking at the pattern on the chart, even though we've seen some, buy activity, a lot of retracement, in terms of this section right here, buy activity returns, big retracement, so I think this pattern will probably likely continue, even though we're only looking at -9%, on the 1 hour. I'm going to speculate that this is probably going to go down. We do have a boost, here, but as we've seen before, boosts are not a magic, they're not a magic pill, for any token, right? So let's go ahead and let's set an under alert on this one. We are sitting at 200K, so I'm going to put that as a posted market cap, and I'm going to go ahead and set the under, at 150K on this one. All right, so we're going to close this one out, and here, Pengu with hat. Okay, this one looks like it's starting a bit of an uptrend, so we're going to go into the Telegram, see what they got going on. All right, so we're going to click on the verification link, and so sometimes this happens, when there's a ton of buys coming in on a chart, Telegram will go ahead and set a rate limit. So I haven't seen that before, so they likely do have a Telegram, but you have to wait a minute before you can actually access the Telegram. So this has happened to me, on a number of occasions. So not unusual, but if you haven't seen it before, just be aware it's not uncommon, for a Telegram to set that rate limit. And then you just have to try back in, within a minute or two. So we'll try again now and see if we can get in. Okay, and looks like we might have a chance here. Okay, so let's see if it's going to let us in. Yep, we get the link. All right, so over 1,600 members, here in this one, and a lot of buys, coming in. Chat's closed. I don't necessarily care for that, but there's a lot of buy activity here. So there's not going to be any evidence, of rating. We're just going to go ahead and skip up and see if we can see anything. Yep, nothing. All right, and then looking at the pinned messages. So They've got some pin messages going on here, but other than a lot of buying activity, let's see what else they're doing in terms of trying to get some exposure on this. They got a pretty decent boost, going on in their hot pairs here on Dexscreener #1. So that's where a lot of their activity is coming from. Once that starts to head downward, then I think you'll see some of the buy activity, die off. Only makes sense to set an under alert on this one just based on where the candle is on the chart. So I'm going to go ahead and set the under, and we're at 409. Acts at 422 according to the tab. And so let's go ahead and let's set this at 380K. All right, and we'll see if that triggers and go from there. So with that being said, I think that's going to cover it for me, for today's video. Thanks so much again, guys, for tuning in and watching as we continue to, just engage, with the Dexscreener platform to find tokens early and see if we can find some opportunities, before they pump to anywhere from around 2x, to 10x or more. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you guys are enjoying your day, and we'll see you on the next video. You guys take care for now.